Hello everyone, welcome to this new video. In today's video, we are heading to Quang Nam. So we are in the central part of Vietnam and we are visiting an EMS factory. So EMS, basically, this is a PCBA, right? So they'll be doing all the assembling on different electronic components, and they also have the in-house box build. So it's an EMS type, so they can do all in one for electronic projects. This is a very interesting factory because right now they have 4 production lines. So they are very keen to get new clients for their project, and they're also expecting to grow in the next upcoming months. So this is a very good factory to keep in mind, and I'm today accompanied by Pietro. Pietro has a long-lasting relationship with their CEO, and you actually had a couple of projects with them. The factory has certificates for automotive as well as ISO. Probably, Pietro, you can give some introduction about their company.
Yes, it's an interesting EMS company in the middle of Vietnam. Not very big, 4 SMT lines and box build capacity and all the procurement services. We have had some projects there, quite successful, yes, and like you said, they are looking for new customers outside of Vietnam. A little bit over half of their customer base nowadays is domestic, but international customer base is growing. They have very good operations in that respect, that they are specialized in automotive industry as well. Of course, the ISO, like you mentioned, but the automotive certificates and additional services then for their customers. They have brand new machinery also. It's less than 5 years old, modern, Japanese mainly, some European machines as well. Da Nang itself and the place where they are is providing workforce for them. They are also connected with different workforce labor suppliers but have their own HR unit. Cost-wise, they are competitive, of course, in this sector and in Da Nang, near the city, so it is a little bit higher than in the remote areas, but the only place where EMS can efficiently work is near the international airports, near the city, and having enough competent workforce, engineers as well operators.
Thank you, Pietro, for those preliminary insights. Let's head to the factory now and discover everything. How many clients are you working for?
Many. Let's say that now in mass production we are at 12 customers.
Okay.
Yes, 12 customers.
How many operators you have nowadays?
50.
50.
Yes, 50.
And you are running one shift?
Let's say that we are running 2 shifts.
Okay.
Sometimes all the lines are running 2 shifts, and sometimes some lines are running only 1 shift.
Okay.
So if we take the overall, the average,
Yeah.
we are running half of our capacity. Sometimes also punctually we need to make overtime. So instead of hiring people and then lay off people again for some punctual order or specific order, so we cover by overtime. It's better than get people here and then lay them off.
How easy is it to get workforce if needed here? Is it changing a lot? Is there a lot of rotation?
Not difficult. It is not difficult, but we have to be careful in the moments of selection and in the moments of interviews in hiring. But it's not difficult. We are getting enough and quite quickly. Otherwise, we have also partnership with the 2 companies, which are HR companies that can provide labor.
Okay.
So we are hiring from different sources.
Yes.
And in parallel, also we hire by ourselves.
What about the experience of the staff we are hiring? Are they already been working in electronics or?
So for example, our engineering manager and many of the engineers, they have been working long time. They have 10 years experience in Samsung as NPI engineer.
Yes.
The quality manager has 15 years experience in automotive.
Okay.
The supply chain manager have 20 years experience in automotive and electronics.
What about the operators typically?
Operators, not that much.
Yeah.
Not that much because the ecosystem is very limited.
Yeah.
Ecosystem is very limited here.
So how long time do you have to take to do the basic training for basic operator?
Let's say then that's 1 week 1 week, 10 days, the
Okay.
operator is fully able to work alone. Of course, it doesn't come from the top down. When the operator comes the first day, he never ever go directly to the production line. There is always one induction training. So, what is the induction training? The induction training is about the procedure, administrative procedure, about the quality awareness, about the safety awareness, about the production awareness, about a tour to see everything, the 5S. So 1 day is only to understand. And then they start working under supervision. They start working in parallel. There is always a difference between one operator who is experienced and skillful and one operator who is not. Even if the lines are automatic, there is always one difference.
One important point of the quality is also the incoming goods inspections and
Yes,
these.
we have it.
So
Yes.
you have that, and it's performed here locally here.
Locally.
Yeah.
Locally.
Okay.
We perform it according to the standard of EATF. So we
Ah,
have the standard of EATF with all the sampling, all the records. Everything is performed here. We are going to take a look.
Yes.
After
that's
here,
good.
we are
Yeah.
going to take a look on the
Okay,
top.
let's
and
take a look on the line a
Yes.
little bit.
At this stage, what is his role here?
is visual check and checking the USB. Because this board has a problem. Sometimes there is variation in the dimension of the USB and it needs to be controlled here.
And this is the supervisor of the line. So each line, one supervisor, yeah. So,
Of course, this guy is not only here, he is also to check the machine if there is some reels to splice or something to change.
the machine are coming from Germany.
If I'm not so wrong, it's a German brand.
Yeah, I think so.
But the SMT machines are Yamaha, they are Japanese.
Yeah. Japanese are leading
Japanese.
with Siemens
Yes.
on this sector.
Yes, yes.
So that's an oven in the middle.
That's a reflow oven.
Yeah.
This is an oven that has one kind of thermal profile and it's allowed to solder the components into the PCB, right?
So we started there from PCB. Then you had the insertion machines which were picking
Yes.
all the goods, put them there. Then they come here into this oven. Here they are then cooled a little bit.
Yes.
And I think here we have final testing.
And
there.
here we have the final inspection.
This is
the
visual inspection.
visual.
So you can see a machine. Yeah. So it's looking automatically, all the components are in the place, reflecting to that.
So the tolerance for such machine gonna be like defined.
There is one standard named IPC standard who control this. Okay? And the machine is programmed according to the IPC class you want to have. So in this case is IPC2. In general, in automotive field, we work with IPC3. Is more tightened, more exigent. Okay. In this case, is IPC2. So here also we started to work with the machines we have with the flying probe for testing.
Okay. Yeah.
Very useful machine. This is a flying probe tester. This has the test probes, okay, some kind of test probes, and also, of course, it is perfectly programmable. Here, the quality engineer is teaching the new staff how to do. What it do is it tests for you all the points of the PCB.
No inline QC, no final QC, external, because everything is done here. This is new machine.
No, we have it before, Pietro.
You had it before. There you have more complex. There you have old and new technology combined.
Yes.
So, yeah. So you have true PCB components where the lead is going through, and it's not only in surface.
Yes.
You know, when I started my electronics career, everything was through.
This one is made by the selective soldering. Okay.
Yeah.
By this machine, selective soldering.
Okay.
It could be done by wave soldering, but in this case, we make it by selective
It's not
soldering.
mass production.
Not yet mass production.
Yeah. So how do you cut this then?
This one, we have the routine machine,
Yeah. Okay.
and this one is V-cut, so we can also apply just
because
cut
it's,
by hand. Yes,
there's
it's
no
V-cut.
pre-cutting or anything.
No, This
Yeah.
is V-cut. This is pre-cut already.
Ah, there it is. Yeah, yeah. Under reparation, maintenance, or
But I see that is working fine. It's
Yeah.
marking. So once finished the SMT, we come in this line to make the battery management system.
okay.
BMS. Okay. The box build. Now there is nothing in packaging, so I cannot show you what
Okay.
we are doing, but
That is
we
power-
have at least this space to make the assembly. We already arranged another room, similar here.
Yeah.
Now it is empty. We were developing the burning test for
Ah,
and they are
okay.
here. We developed it by ourselves.
Yes.
It's easy, but we make it. Okay?
What is the typical salary for an operator here in this region, and especially in the electronics?
One experienced staff can reach even per month 500, between 500 to
500.
600
Okay.
USD, including all the costs.
Okay. Ah,
Not
so
the
yes,
salary,
the company cost.
Not only the gross, the
And
insurance that we
Yeah.
are paying.
Yeah.
Yes, the
Invite.
invites, the meal that we
Mm.
provide, some incentive. We try also to give some incentive
Yeah.
from our incentive about quality, incentive about performance, incentive about absenteeism. Also, okay, so the total cost will be between 500 to
Okay.
$600.
And how
Per
does
month.
that compare to other industries?
Same, we are
Same.
competitive. We cannot be under.
Yes.
Because if we are under, is a big risk. At any moment, we look for operator. There is Mr. X or Y. He is
Mr.
hiring.
Shu, there.
and we are
yeah. What about the attrition rates? Do you have a lot of turnover? Typically in Vietnam, in factories, it's quite high. Also in the offices, even to 20% per year. Is that same in electronics or?
We experienced some turnover in the office sometimes.
Yeah. Okay.
In the
office,
office,
yes.
we
Yes.
experienced
Yeah.
turnover, but now it is stable.
Yeah.
Especially at the beginning, we got turnover, but now it is stable. For operator, I never faced here one big issue with turnover.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe also because even our headcount is still small. I think what's happened in this specific region or zone is that the job offer is not that much.
Yeah, it's not like Binzung or very hot hub, right?
Even like Dien Ban, when we worked before, there is a huge industrial zone with companies making shoes, employing 10,000 people.
Yeah. That's,
Imagine one turnover of 5% of this company. It means they have to hire 500 people, so their demand is always huge, and there is many companies hiring. Here in this region, the offer is low, but the salary is as competitive as the other places. So I think this is my analysis.
Yeah.
I think it is
Yeah.
providing some kind of stability. Regarding the exact numbers, I think we are less than 5% here for workers. Less than 5%.
Yeah. That's a very good rate. Very good rate already.
Then we can always expect in near that holiday, we have to be expected that some turnover without any reason. So this always happen.
So you are clearly looking for growth in Vietnam. And what is your export markets? Which are the main export markets? Because that's where the growth is possibly coming.
Highest volume of production is made here for local companies.
Domestic companies.
But also
yes.
we are exporting to America.
Yeah.
And then let's say, because other countries are minor, then let's say that America is our main.
Yeah.
But for example, now we got some customer in Europe, in Germany. But we would like to get more customer in Europe. We know there are a market in Europe.
There is,
we cannot
there is.
reach them. We
Yeah.
cannot reach them.
Okay.
And however, it's easier to reach the American market. Europe is a challenge for us.
Okay. How about Spain? You are from Spain, if I remember.
Okay,
well.
in Spain, there is one very important customer we are waiting to come here, and it's going to be one key step forward for this company.
Yeah.
Because it's a company, it's a multinational company, Spanish multinational company, and they have offices and design center, R&D center in America, capital is from Switzerland. Actually, they want to make a partnership with us, kind of joint venture, because they are producing, but they want to move. They like a lot that we are 100% Vietnamese.
Yes, that is the key. So definitely Europe is interesting for you.
Totally,
also,
absolutely,
France,
definitely.
Italy, Spain, Nordics also.
Yeah.
In the other industries, we see a lot about this China plus one strategy. So people are coming to Vietnam because they are exporting, selling to the US markets and willing to avoid the tariffs. Do you see the same in your business also as a main driver, or is it simply there, or your actual customers, are they looking only for cost savings and things like that?
You are totally right. Both, but mostly the second, cost saving.
Cost saving.
Cost saving. We get success with customer when we release our quotation. And for example, with this customer I told you before, and they say, in material, we control better than you, obviously. You have labor costs and testing costs and non-recurring costs, very, very competitive, and this is very important. Most of them come to us for cost reduction, and others come because of the tariffs. Because of the tariffs.
What about the way of working with your customers? So do you work with them that way, that they also send you components and you do the assembly only, or are you working only on the FOB basis?
Yeah, some customer do the consignment.
Yes.
And some customer ask for the whole bill of material.
Okay.
And some customer, they prefer to control the key part of the bill of material. Because they have a special agreement, they don't want anybody to touch them. We don't want to work just producing, because it makes no sense. So,
Vietnam is having this temporary import-export regulation where you can import without VAT and without taxes when the goods are going out as in a product. Are you using this kind of approach also, and have you experience of how well it's working in electronics?
It's not a very sensitive topic now. It's not now in this stage. I guess when we can grow and where the customer can move, export from here, and import, and we have to source a big amount of, we will go on that.
Okay.
We are taking this advantage, but it's not too sensitive.
It's not too important. Okay. Good to know. What about the sourcing activities? Where do Vietnamese companies typically source? Do you have the services here? Do you have the vendors in place in Vietnam?
Another good question. For the electronic component, the supply chain in Vietnam, I don't say poor, but it's very basic.
Yes.
All of the global distributor like Arrow, Upnet, Future, they have offices here.
Yes.
But the main offices are in Singapore, in Thailand, and so on. Here, they
regional
only have
offices.
Many years ago, you know very well, the Asian market for components are mostly coming from China.
Yes.
In China, they develop very, very big and very good supplier, global supplier. And I remember my beginning buying with Siemens, buying in China, and it was a disaster because they made many tricks and many fakes, right? But now, luckily, unfortunately, we can find in China a very good supplier and very confident supplier.
What about then shipping the goods out from Vietnam? So mostly electronics go probably with air, I guess, and
because
so
the quantity does.
Is it working well for you?
Yeah.
We are in Da Nang, and there is the international airport.
No problem here.
No problem at all.
No problem at all.
Okay.
No problem at all.
Can you explain a little bit about the IQC?
So first we have the reception, okay? The reception area where we receive the materials. Then for each materials there is one standard, okay? One specification sheet. And for each material there is one standard for sampling. So of course in IQC we don't check the materials 100%, but we make one sampling and we make the records. Then what happened? If the materials are released to production, they will go to the warehouse,
Yeah.
and then to prepare the kitting for next production.
Yeah.
If the materials are not conform or we detect something, so we have the red case, the non-conformity.
Yes.
So we put in the non-conformity, we release one claim to supplier, and we take a decision with the supplier what we should do: return the material, or make sorting by ourselves, or make one concession in some specific cases. So it depends, but in general, this is the flow. From the receiving here, there is two flow. Of course, when we receive, we make our MES label, our internal label with all the data of traceability inside. Okay, and then two things: it's okay. After the sampling results, it will go to warehouse, kitting, go to production. If not okay, red.
What is your impression about the quality of incoming materials in Vietnam? Or do you have a lot of problems, or is it just ordinary?
Let's say it's ordinary for one reason, is that almost 80% of the materials we are using are SMT materials.
Yes.
And the SMT materials are not necessarily coming from Vietnam.
Yeah.
The distributors are in Vietnam,
yes.
but the manufacturing has been done where? Has been done in TDK, in Morata, in Vichy, in Yaego. And here we are talking about companies that have really good quality standard. It doesn't mean that we never find problems. Sometimes happen mistake, especially in mixing components. So we sometimes will find mixing components with different marking, for example. But let's say that is ordinary. Is not a big issue.
So some takeaway about this factory visit, as well as some of the discussion we had with the key representative. On my personal perspective, the good thing in this part of Vietnam is that you will rely a lot on young workforce. So Da Nang in central Vietnam is a very young, dynamic city that is known for the startup scene as well as all the tech and IT sector. This is also the hub spot for all the AI advanced technology. So if you are considering implementing an electronic project, you can also rely on partners and service providers that can also be located nearby for all the software aspects. So basically very good overall and then first discovery of this factory. What were your takeaway, Pietro, from today's tour?
I was happy to see that their activities are growing and there is more and more customers also coming from abroad. What comes to Da Nang in general, we have to remember also that when you speak about AI, FPT, which is the largest software group in Vietnam with the turnover of over $2 billion, is very present in Da Nang area. So as nowadays things tend to come together, AI, IoT, electronics, everything is together. It's very important that you have a big ecosystem around also, especially if you are developing something new. This is what is happening in Da Nang. I think it's the best, largest ecosystem in Vietnam for electronics and software. One other thing I want to add also is that there is universities in Da Nang also, FPT University, which is training software companies. So the ecosystem is such that if you are planning to have a design center and develop something in the electronics and this sector, it is a very good location to go to Da Nang IT Park. There's plenty of opportunities to grow, and the continuous flow of engineers and software guys is important thing in that case.
Thank you, Pedro, for those additional inputs. I guess it's pretty clear that if you are considering manufacturing electronic in Vietnam, this is one of the companies you should put a strong focus and then keep following the development that will be happening, and then also consider Da Nang as a hub to set up either your manufacturing plant or work with suppliers in the region. If you need any assistance, any help into doing sourcing or outsourcing projects in Vietnam, in electronic or in any other sectors, we will leave below in the description more details about our product and services. Feel free to reach us out. We can discuss about your needs and how we can help you further. Thanks to you again, and I'll see you in the next video.
Down and I'ma get it right, dead on sight like